Well, the man next to us here who helped us so much, Coach Chuck Daly. Coach, congratulations. An unbelievable performance by this team.
Really, all on the defensive end, which is basically just hard work. It was unfortunate the Lakers lost a couple people, but that's a fact of life. This club deserved to win it. We won all 4 series on the road. We deserve to win the championship. Great group of guys.
When Chuck Daly came to the Pistons, he was a failure. He failed in Cleveland. He was fired. And when he was hired, Chuck Daly, who is Chuck Daly?
I think it was all confidence. I think Chuck Daly, as his confidence grew, he became a better coach. I think people really bought into who he was and what he was doing.
Cartwright and Isiah go at it in front of the Piston bench. Doug Collins is out there. Chuck Daly is out there. It has exploded here.
Well, Chuck knew. I mean, he knew we were going to be a physical team. That's what was going to win games for us. Our defense, our physicality.
When you've got 12, 13, 14 guys who all feel like they should be starring for the team, I guess you better be able to manage guys. You better be able to choose what you hear and choose what you let pass through, and so that you can move on and still be effective as a coach.
And a technical foul be called on Ricky Mahorn.
He was a master of just trying to get the egos, leave them outside the locker room, and get us all on the same page to win a championship.
You know, my ego wasn't too involved. We all have an ego to a certain point, but it was more about winning basketball games and let them perform than getting my way.
He put his ego in his back pocket when he knew what he had, and that's what really was our best trait, was we got a coach that didn't get in the way.
Very pleased today to make the announcement on Chuck Daly as our new coach. I think my first encounter with Chuck was down in the Atlantic Coast Conference. He was with a staff of Vic Bubas, who at that time was considered one of the great coaches in the country. And on Vic's staff was a guy by the name of Hubie Brown and Chuck Daly, 2 pretty good coaches. And Chuck, if you'll come up here. As Bill Kreifeld said, the basketball's in your hands.
Chuck Daly was known as a high school coach who failed in the NBA. So what's he gonna do here? But what Chuck Daly learned is this was a players' league.
One of the reasons I came here, Bill Laimbeer's here. We were in Cleveland together for a short period of time, and I never did get in his pocket on the golf course, but maybe I'll get a chance here before the season starts.
I think Chuck learned the great personalities that we had, how strong-willed we were, that we didn't have to be, handheld or also browbeaten and do whatever. He was really good at trying to set direction and then getting out of the way.
Over the top, ball goes, he's diving. Here's the pass, it's over. Diagonal pass back, okay? If you got nothing else, look for the diagonal pass, then we can take it in the seam. Also, guard to guard, get in the seam, okay? Let's go.
I mean, you're dealing with 12 guys, 12 grown men emotions all the time, and you got to funnel that. You got to make sure everybody's happy. You got to make sure everybody's getting their correct playing minutes, because everybody thinks they can play, 48 minutes. I want to play, I want to play.
Chuck said, look, yeah, you scored pretty good in college, but we need you to run the court, block shots, rebound. I'm going to put you in maybe for 17 minutes or 22 minutes. You need to do all of that within that 22 minutes. He said, when I put Dennis and you in, this is what you're going in the game for.
He was a master. I mean, Chuck was just, it was a calming presence. And when he needed to talk to me, it was kind of, okay, Rick, I need you to do this. Or he'll tell me before the game, Rick, you may not play a lot. That's the respect Chuck had, because whatever he said, he did.
What our roles were, they were all defined at the beginning of the year by Chuck sitting each individual player down and saying, this is what I need from you. And each night we gave that to him. Some nights he'd say, well, I'll need you more minutes, and some nights I won't need you as many minutes. So that we had to respect amongst our peers and our coach that this is what we wanted to do.
When you think about the fact that the Pistons had their greatest player ever and a Hall of Famer in Isiah Thomas, a Hall of Fame backcourt mate in Joe Dumars, and a Hall of Fame defender up front in Dennis Rodman. It's no wonder they dominated the league. But somebody, as I always said, Chuck, somebody's got to coach him.
The things that he allowed me to do as a player, the growth that he allowed me to have, and the freedom that he allowed me to have, you know, if I would have had another coach who would have tried to like stifle that or control that, you know, or scream and holler at me, you know, it probably wouldn't have worked.
The one thing Chuck Daly always wanted to portray out there is that it was Isiah and Bill Laimbeer's idea to do something. For instance, if Chuck said, let's do A, and Bill Laimbeer and Isiah said, no, let's do B, and it didn't work, ultimately Laimbeer and Isiah would come back and say, hey, Chuck, let's do game plan A. He said, okay, that's a good idea, fellas. And so in their minds, it was their idea to do it, even though Chuck Daly had introduced it maybe 5 or 6 days earlier.
Isaiah's here. Yeah, Isaiah right here. Oh, I'm sorry. That's, no, he's over here.
I was all about team. I've always been about team, and I've always been about professionalism. And when I see a team coming together and functioning the way they should, then you kind of, you go where it leads you.
Chuck learned he was a master of just trying to get the egos, leave them outside the locker room, and get us all on the same page to win a championship.
The dapper head coach of the Detroit Pistons, Chuck Daly. Like all coaches, always concerned, always worried. The world is going to come to an end tomorrow.
The other thing, Chuck Daly kept the team on edge from this standpoint. He was a prince of pessimism. When you talked to Chuck Daly, you thought they were never going to win a basketball game again.
Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Detroit leading 2-1. They knew that if they would win today, they'd be up 3-1 going home. However, they're down. It's been a terrific stunner so far. Michael Jordan has 20 points. The Pistons are playing as bad as they can play. Chicago the other way around. And a few moments ago, QB Brown talked to Detroit's head coach, Chuck Daly.
Chuck Daly had a great saying. He always said to me, the wolves are always at the door. You never know how close. They're right at the door. Don't open the door. You never know when the wolves are coming in.
Chuck, 31% shooting, 14 turnovers, down 16. You're on the road. What do you say?
You say Chicago in the last 2 games come back from 15 down in the third quarter. We've got to make an attempt to do the same thing. Their defense has been ferocious. They're doubling Vinny, doubling Aguirre, and we haven't been backed up like this all year.
When the Pistons were in trouble, sometimes Chuck Daly would call a timeout. And he would sit there, kind of wiggle his tongue around, because he kind of had this thing with his tongue. He'd wiggle around. Didn't say anything. And he just let guys stew. And then he said, okay, fellas, huddle up, let's go. He didn't say a word. And they would go out and just take care of business.
Jordan, no. Behind the back, Dumars to Sally.
He will be the greatest coach to ever coach the Pistons.
2 seconds, 1 second, Isiah at the buzzer.
He had tremendous players, but sometimes you can have tremendous players and you fall short. But he made the most of the few years when he had really, really great basketball players.
Vinny Johnson with 1 second to go. His shot is good. Pistons have won the world championship. Back to back.
I'm so happy because we worked so hard, and I wanted this one more than any of the last 3 trips. I don't know why, just because I love it. These guys have worked so hard to do it.
I mean, he was just a great guy anyway. He was just a great person. You know, he's missed he's missed a lot.
The all-time greatest Piston coach, and now the coach of the champions of the world, Chuck Daly.